two most important muscles to release when you have a hiatal hernia. Can you guess what they are? I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds. Come on. Okay. I can't hear the answers, obviously, but I know you guys are thinking through your heads, which muscles are important? Obviously the diaphragm, right? So the diaphragm is one of the most important muscles because the stomach, the reason why we get acid reflux and GERD is because the stomach herniates through the little hole in the diaphragm and comes up above into the chest cavity. So the diaphragm, one of the most important muscles, you need it to tighten up. And as we get older, that gets weaker. And the more chronic your hiatal hernia is, your stomach is stuck up in there, it's going to stretch it out that much more. So we do offer breathing exercises to tighten the diaphragm up. Also, nerve supply to that diaphragm comes from T10, 11, T12 region in the thoracolumbar region or the lower thoracic region. Nerve supply directly to your diaphragm. Really important if you have mid-back pain, tightness, to see a chiropractor to help restore nerve supply to the diaphragm. And then the second muscle, take a guess. It's a very important muscle when you're dealing with back pain. I'll give you another hint. Very common to have when you have a lower back flare up. It causes difficulty bending down and putting your shoe on, typically on the side of pain. Climbing stairs, bending your hip, your leg, using your hip flexors. The next muscle that's the most important muscle is the psoas. It begins with a P, okay? The iliopsoas, that's the technical term for it. Obviously, that begins with an I, but you have the major psoas and then the iliopsoas. So it's a few different branches of the psoas muscle, but the psoas muscle is, yes, it's a hip flexor, and yes, it connects to your lumbar spine. You're saying, well, what does that have to do with my stomach herniating up through my diaphragm? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Number one, the bottom fibers of the psoas attach into the hip. The middle fibers of the psoas attach into your spine on both sides of the spine and even adhesions onto the sides of the discs in your back. So if you have a disc herniation, back pain, psoas, I can't scream it enough at the top of my lungs on a mountain. I'm telling you, with a megaphone, check your psoas. Okay. And if you have a tight psoas, go to soright.com. It's a buddy of mine. Okay. I don't get any money from this, but he made a great product to release your psoas. I've done videos, product reviews on that, but psoas, you can release it. Yes, that's huge. It's important, but oftentimes there's imbalance. There's weakness on one side or tightness on one side or weakness on both sides or tension on both sides, right? Sitting aggravates that. There's so many things that aggravate a psoas muscle or a tight psoas muscle. So when the psoas is tight, it pulls your diaphragm. Why? Because the upper fibers of the psoas actually attach to your diaphragm. Yes, you heard that right. Your diaphragm. Middle fibers to your lumbar spine, lower fibers to your pelvis and your hip, your leg joint, your hip joint on the inside. It allows your diaphragm to raise and lower. And if your psoas is really, really, really tight because you sit all day in front of a computer, then it's going to be difficult to take a full breath and have your rib cage raise all the way up because your psoas is pulling it down. And that's why hiatal hernia is so prevalent now for people that sit at their desk and work at the desk. Since COVID, we've seen a huge spike in hiatal hernia, and this is one of the main reasons. Now, what are the two most important ligaments when we're dealing with hiatal hernia? Check my next video out. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much. If you got anything from this video, or even if you just like this view of the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building, give me a like and don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you guys.